Dear students, welcome back to our English episode today. Today, we're going to study the novel and hope that you will enjoy our episode. But first of all, let me welcome Mrs. Caroline طوبيا. Welcome, Ms. Caroline.
Hello, Mrs. Amani.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to our episode for today. We're going to have our novel, The Prisoner of Zenda, Chapter 5. This is the first part. We will have part 1 today and part 2 the next time. Please be with us and let's start. Prisoner of Zenda. Chapter 5, Part 1.
I had always wanted to have a quiet life, but I suddenly realized how many responsibilities I now had here in Mauritania. How on earth had I got myself into such a situation?
One day, Sap came into my room. Here is a letter for you, he said. From the writing, I think it's from a woman. I also have some important news.
What is it? I asked. We now know that the king's at the castle of Zenda. How do you know this?
We asked where the rest of the 6 men were and found out that they are all there at the castle. Longram, Craftston, and young Rupert Hanzo.
The 3 biggest criminals in Mauritania. Do you think the king is definitely there? I asked. Almost certainly. The 3 men are always at the castle.
And people say the drawbridge is nearly always kept up. That is not normal. No one goes into the building without the permission of Rupert or Michael.
Then I must go to Zenda, I said. That wouldn't be a good idea. If not today, then soon I must go there. You'll probably stay there forever if you do, said Sap.
طبعا زي ما احنا عارفين البارت اللي احنا قلناه it was between رودolf and سابت وده كان بعد ما اكتشفوا انه الثري مان الثري جاردز اوف مايكل كانوا موجودين اوريدي في الكاسل اوف زندا. ما كانش معتاد انه الثري جاردز يبقوا موجودين في زندا، لكن لما عرفوا ان هم دي عند كاسل اوف زندا فده اكد لهم ان الكينج از ذير. روبرت هانزو من الثلاثه اللي بسموهم كريمنالز لان هم كانوا فعلا شبه المجرمين in their attitude towards the people. The king is in Zenda زي ما احنا اتفقنا ان الكينج was kidnapped and he was put in Zenda in the castle واتبعت letter مهم جدا from Antoinette de Maubant. ما كانش مكتوب انه from Antoinette de Maubant لكن through the writing والكلام اللي هنعرف بعد كده كان ايه هو اتعرف انه كان في warning مبعوث لرودolf رازندل. Let's start choosing some questions. في الchoice عندنا choose the correct answer ونشوف how are we going to choose the right answer.
How did Rasandel feel on leaving the princess's palace? ايه احساس راسندل لما ساب البالاس بتاع البرنسس؟ He wasn't sorry to say goodbye to Michael and his soldier friend. He was sad to say goodbye to the princess. He was happy to escape Michael's men's anger. Both A and B are correct. طبعا لو بصينا على الإجابات هنلاقي إن both A and B are correct.
What did Rasandel wish he had told the princess about? كان عايز يقول لها ايه؟ طبعا احنا عارفين هو كان عايز يقول لها ان هو مش الملك. So he wished to tell her that he wasn't the real king, or he wished that he had asked her to marry her, or he wished she had asked her to become a queen ودي طبعا مش منطقية, or he wished to tell her that he would leave the country. طبعا اللي كان هو بيتمنى يقوله لها that he wasn't the real king.
Why did Rasandel wish to tell her that he wasn't the real king? إيه السبب اللي خلاه عايز يقول لها إن هو not the real king? To lose her confidence؟ طبعا إجابة مستبعدة. Because he wasn't the man she dreamt of. Because he thought it was wrong for him to pretend to be the real king, or both B and C are correct. If we see the answers, we'll find that C and B are correct, both of them.
What did the princess ask Rasandel to be careful about? طلبت منه ايه فلافيا قبل ما يمشي؟ She asked him to be careful about his life. متوقع طبعا. ولا she asked him to be careful on leaving Mauritania. Or she asked him to be careful about the money she had given him. طبعا شايفة ان الناس بتقول هي ما اديتوش فلوس اساسا and this is true. Or she asked him to be careful on leaving Mauritania. طبعا what she was asking him is to be careful about his life لأن هي كانت عارفة إن هو he was going to hunt Black Michael فكانت قلقانة جدا about his life.
Why did she ask him to be careful about his life? السبب اللي خلاها تسأله إن هو to be careful about his wife. She needed him a lot, or he knew the secret of the real king, or his life meant a lot for the people of Mauritania, as Michael would need his help. طبعا دي إجابة مستبعدة جدا، الوحيدة اللي هتنفع عندنا as his life meant a lot for the people of Mauritania.
What did Razendel remember about Rose? فاكرين احنا Rose. Rose is the wife of his brother و she is his sister-in-law. وقبل ما كان يسافر طبعا ما كانش قايل لها ان هو he's going to Mauritania، فلما اتكلمت معاه about his life وازاي ان هو he's not doing something important كانت بتكلمه انه his life has to be full of responsibilities. ولما سافر و he was put in this situation واضطر ان هو ياخد the place of the king افتكر Rose's words when she told him people have to have responsibilities in life. وخلينا نشوف الchoices ومنها على طول انا عارفه انه احنا we're going to find what is the right answer. So he remembered what Rose had said about his brother's responsibilities in England, or he remembered Rose's warning not to go to Mauritania ما كانتش تعرف اساسا, or he remembered Rose's advice to be careful about his visit to Mauritania, or he remembered Rose's demand to be careful about his money. طبعا هي كان كل كلامها ازاي انه his brother was responsible in England و responsibilities بتاعته.
Pretending to be king of Mauritania benefited Razendel a lot. Explain. السؤال ده ممكن يجي لي بطريقتين، يا اما بطريقه explain وانا هكتب من دماغي، يا اما ان هو هيجي لي choices زي ما هنشوف دلوقتي. طيب في الحالتين انا المفروض ابقى حاطط في دماغي حاجه ان المنصب الجديد اللي هو اخده او التجربه اللي هو مر بيها دي افادته كتير جدا، هي حولته من شخص كان كل همه ان هو just to spend time upon himself ما بيعملش اي حاجه مفيده لاي حد تاني، لحد عنده مسؤوليه فعلا وهيحاول ان هو to save Mauritania by pretending to be the new king. في نفس الوقت ان هو شاف الريسبونسابيلتيز بتاعت الكينج عامله ازاي، وطبعا زي ما مس كارولين قالت بدا يفتكر الكلمات بتاعت Rose his sister-in-law. So now let's see the choices. He learned a lot about how a country was run. He became very good at pretending he had forgotten rules or people that he had met. He liked his stay in Mauritania, or both A and B are correct. So now لو احنا طبعا بصينا هنلاقي ان الكوريكت answer هي answer number A علشان هو استفاد معلومات كتيرة ازاي الكونتري بتدار. He learned about how the country is run.
How did Razendel manage to cover up his big mistakes? طيب في أخطاء اتعملت ازاي قدر ان هو to cover up يعني يغطيها. Let's see. He pretended he had forgotten the rules, or his growing popularity helped the people to forgive his mistakes, or Sabt and Fritz helped him a lot, or both A and B are correct. طبعا في information كتير في الموضوع وعارفين انه الميستيكس اللي كانت بتحصل كان اجزاء منها سابت بيحاول يداري عليها وسابت هو اللي كان بيقول له عليها، فطبعا both A and B are going to be correct.
How did Razendel benefit from his growing popularity? يا ترى he could defeat Michael, he could defeat the Marshal, he hoped his growing popularity with the people of Mauritania would help them to forgive his occasional bad decisions, or he could save the real king. طبعا الإجابة المنطقية الوحيدة اللي عندنا he hoped his growing popularity with the people of Mauritania would help them to forgive his occasional bad decision.
Sabt had some important news of the king. What was it? ايه الأخبار المهمة اللي بعتها سابت أو اللي كانت مع سابت؟ That the king, he became sure that the king was at the castle of Zenda. وده احنا قلناه أول ما ابتدينا خالص إنه ال 6 men already كان في منهم 3 موجودين في الكاسل اوف زندا، وده كان جزء كبير من اللي أكد له المعلومة إنه the king was at the castle of Zenda, or the marshal could save the king, or Flavia could save the real king. طبعا ما تعرفش حاجة عن الموضوع. or Sabt saved the real king. يبقى طبعا زي ما كنا بنقول he became sure that the king was at the castle of Zenda.
Why did Sabt refuse that Razendel should go to Zenda at that time? طبعا ان هو يروح زندا دلوقتي دي مجازفة شديدة جدا. طب يا ترى because Sabt would save the king, because Fritz could save the king alone, or because Rassendyll would stay in the castle if he did, because they had no time. طبعا correct answer هتبقى عندي لو هو راح he will stay in the castle forever.
Why was Rassendyll followed by 6 men wherever he went in the capital? طبعا Rassendyll was the king أو that was pretending إن هو to be the king. فطبعا followed by 6 men أكيد definitely part of it was being guarded. Let's see the solutions that we have and which one are we going to choose. Is it because Sapt ordered those men to follow him? ولو أكيد to follow him ليه فأكيد for his guard. Or because Michael ordered them to follow Rassendyll. Or because Flavia asked them to follow Rassendyll. Or A, B and C are all correct. يا ترى ال6 guards اللي كانوا موجودين مع رودولف أكيد فلافيا ما كانتش ده موضوعها ولا كان مايكل سابت اللي كان very worried about رودولف كان قلقان عليه جدا انه anybody might attack him وبالتالي كان دايما مخلي معاه 6 guards wherever he goes to the capital.
What made Sapt appoint يعني يعين 6 men to follow Rassendyll؟ طبعا هو علشان كان خايف عليه. It would be very useful for Michael if Rassendyll disappeared. If he disappeared, the game would be over. Dugateux, Bersonin, and Ditchard were in Starlisso when any of them could catch Rassendyll easily. A, B, C are correct. So the correct answer is, we have many reasons, so A, B, C are correct.
Why was Rassendyll angry about being followed by 6 men? يمكن ده بيرجع للكاركتر اوف رازندل انه هو ما كانش معتاد قوي انه ياخد responsibility وحد يشكك فيها فهو كان a little bit against انه يبقى دايما followed by the 6 men لكن ساب طبعا كان عنده بعد نظر شويه وكان عارف انه he could be easily attacked وعارف كمان انه بلاك مايكل كان easily attack him anywhere وعشان كده he wanted to keep him safe لانه if he is not safe the plan will not continue as normal فلو حصل له حاجه the plan would be over. طب let's see the choices ونشوف انهي فيهم ولا ممكن يكون كلهم ونخلي بالنا من الاختيار A, B or C لان احيانا واحنا بنشوف التشويس بنركز على بوينت منهم لكن ممكن تكون اكتر من واحده او الثلاثه بيكونوا صح. So we have to go through all the answers. طيب why was Rassendyll angry about being followed by the 6 men? They gave him headache or they disrupt his plans يعني بيبوظوا الخطط بتاعته or he did not need such a help he could look after himself ولا Sapt didn't like that. طبعا Sapt didn't like that مش مظبوطة فبالتالي he didn't need such help لأن هو كان شايف إنه he could look after himself alone.
Who sent a letter to Rassendyll the king? يا ترى أنطوانيت دو مابان ولا روز فلافيا or the marshal. طبعا احنا عرفنا ان اللتر ده was sent from an email وده عن طريق الهاند رايتنج او الكتابه اللي موجوده هيبقى عندي التشويس بتاعي هيبقى أنطوانيت دو مابان بعتت له اللتر ده علشان تحذره.
What would happen if the pretend king didn't go to the summer house؟ لو ما راحش رودولف رازندل للسمر هاوس زي ما كانت أنطوانيت دو مابان بعتاله in the letter. What would happen? The king's life would be in danger or his life هو نفسه اللي هو رودولف رازندل would be in danger or Flavia's life would be in danger ودي out طبعا خالص or Michael's life would be in danger. طبعا أكيد مايكل ملوش علاقة ولا فلافيا it's his life اللي هو رودولف لأن اللتر ده كان فيه warning علشان يتقال له البلان اللي بلاك مايكل عملها. بلاك مايكل forced أنطوانيت دو مابان هي تكتب اللتر وبالتالي من خلال اللتر يعمل تراب لرودولف رازندل يجي على السمر هاوس ويقدر ان هو يقبض عليه او ياخده وطبعا لو ما كانش راح definitely his life would be in danger وده اللي كان مكتوب inside the letter.
What did Antoinette ask Rassendyll not to do in her first letter؟ خلي بالنا مش قال لي asked him to do قال لي not to do أخلي بالي كويس وأنا بقرأ السؤال. She asked him not to show that to anyone. She asked him not to come alone. She asked him not to travel abroad again or she asked him not to leave the palace. For sure she asked him not to show that to anyone in order not to be in a danger.
Why shouldn't Rassendyll have shown Antoinette's letter to anyone? ليه طلبت منه not to show it وليه ما كانش المفروض to show it to anyone? It would put a woman in a great danger and Michael would punish her. عارفين علاقتها بلاك مايكل، ولو عرف بلاك مايكل أو حد عرف حاجة عن الجواب ده يبقى أكيد هي هتتعاقب أو يكون نتيجتها سيئة جدا. Or Flavia would punish Antoinette. ملهاش علاقة خالص فلافيا بأنطوانيت. The real king would be killed or Antoinette's servant would be killed. سمعت ناس قالت Antoinette's servant ما جاتش سيرته، وطبعا ليه he shouldn't put this letter to anybody to know؟ لأنه طبعا this would put Antoinette de Mauban in great danger، لأن جزء منه كان إن هي she's warning him، لأن هي كانت بتعمل all this because of what؟ إنه not to get Black Michael at the end marry Princess Flavia، لأنه لو حصل كده يبقى هيقتل الكينج، يبقى Black Michael is going to marry Princess Flavia، وطبعا she doesn't want that.
Now critical questions with answer. وخلي بالنا من الكريتيكال questions لأن احنا بنحتاج إن احنا نعبر فيها كتير، فهتساعدنا إن احنا نبتدي نقول أحداث من الستوري، وعلى قد ما نقدر إن احنا نحاول إن احنا to stick to the expressions أو نستخدم الإكسبريشنز الموجودة عندي في النوفل علشان الأنسر بتاعتي تكون إلى حد بعيد correct. Let's see the questions.
The first question says Razendel had contradicting feelings on leaving the princess's palace. يعني كان عنده مشاعر متضاربة وهو بيسيب الباليس بتاع فلافيا. illustrate يعني اشرح بالتفصيل. طب ايه هو اللي كانت المشاعر المتضاربة؟ ليه كان متضايق وهو ماشي سايب الباليس؟ عندي طبعا كذا إجابة. ممكن اتكلم على الإجابات الموجودة عندي. عايزين نتكلم على لوريتانيا، هل هي كانت المشكلة في الباليس، ولا هل هي كانت المشكلة ان هو to leave لوريتانيا، ولا برنسس فلافيا نفسها؟ فطبعا عندنا more than one point. Razendel wasn't sorry to say goodbye to the Duke and his men, but he was sad to say goodbye to the princess. He asked himself if he was wrong to pretend to be the king.
What did the princess's words to Razendel on farewell, on goodbye يعني, mean in your opinion? رأيك إيه في الكلام اللي هي قالته لراسندل لما كان سايب her palace? Flavia warned him to be careful and to think what his life meant to the people of Ruritania. This means that she loved him dearly. وطبعا him هنا مش مقصود بيها رادولف راسندل، بس طبعا مقصود بيها الريل كينج.
Why do you think Razendel remembered what Rose said about his brother when the princess warned him? لسه كنا بنتكلم على كده وقلنا إن Razendel realized his position in society brings with it responsibilities، وده اللي ما كانش حاسه قبل كده، لكن once he was put in the situation he felt the responsibility.
How do you think Rasendel's life changed in Ruritania? طبعا احنا شايفين اللايف بتاعته مختلفة تماما. Now he has responsibilities and his character changed a lot. فهقول إن Rasendel always wanted to have a quiet life, but he suddenly realized how many responsibilities he had in Ruritania.
Why didn't anyone seem to notice that Razendel was not the real king in your opinion? طب هل يا ترى عدم وجود حد يشك فيه ليه هو he was the king؟ أكيد في حاجات كتير كانت بتساعد. One part of it إنه he knew well how to act. والحاجة التانية إنه he was followed برضو by Sapt and Fritz اللي كانوا they used to give him a lot of advice about how things go. وبالتالي هنقول إنه because Razendel looked so like the king and it was easier for him to pretend to be king than to be him by neighbor. يعني كان سهل جدا عليه بشكله إن هو يقلد إن هو الكينج، مش مجرد بيقلدوه، لا he looked exactly like him، فكان سهل جدا to look like the king and even act like the king.
What do you think of Rasendel's action when he made mistakes? احنا اتفقنا ان هو لما كان بيعمل mistakes كان في actions معينة بيعملها، يبقى he pretended that he forgotten rules or people. وطبعا دي كانت نقطة كويسة جدا ان هو يقدر انه يتغلب على فكرة زي دي، ان انا مش عارف اصلا الرولز ولا عارف البيبل، فبالتالي ان انا لما اقول ان انا نسيت او ان انا forgot يبقى دي هتساعدني كتير ان انا اخرج من الميستيك اللي انا عملتها. يبقى this way was a good way to escape from blame and doubt. ودوت هنا اللي هي الشك ان حد يشك فيه ان هو is not the real king.
Sapt called Rupert, Longram and Craftston the three biggest criminals in Ruritania. Do you agree or not? And why? طبعا we agree because they do whatever Michael asked them to do regardless how evil and cruel it is. عشان كده كانوا مسمينهم the three criminals لأنه كانوا ممكن يعملوا أي حاجة as a crime في البلد مجرد ما مايكل told them that.
Why wouldn't it be a good idea for Rassendyll to go to Zenda? ليه إن هي فكرة سيئة إنه Rassendyll to go to Zenda؟ طبعا Sapt told him that he would probably stay there forever. يعني إيه؟ ما أنا لو رحت يبقى أنا خلاص.
He's going to be
he's going to be
imprisoned.
imprisoned. The real king would be killed. وخلص الموضوع. So he would be imprisoned there forever. No way to get out.
What would happen in your opinion if Rassendyll showed the letter to anyone? زي ما قلنا, it would put Antoinette de Mauban in great danger as Michael would punish her because of what she did.
How did Sapt know about Antoinette de Mauban in your opinion? Maybe he heard from the chief of the police or his spies if he had any.
How do you think Antoinette de Mauban could be useful to them? هل هي فعلا مفيدة ليهم؟ طبعا واضح جدا ان هي she could tell them information about Black Michael and help to save the king, لان هي مش من مصلحتها ابدا انه the king to be saved انه الking to be killed, لانه لو اتقتل الking فهو اكيد Black Michael is going to marry Princess Flavia. فمن النزعة الغيرة بتاعتها طبعا she was very ready ان هي to do anything just to keep Black Michael for herself.
Why did Antoinette help Rassendyll? ودي الجزء اللي لسه مس كارولين متكلمة عليه. ايه السبب اللي خلاها تساعد Rassendyll؟ Simply and she wants to keep him for herself. يبقى هي أهم حاجة عندها إن Duke Michael not to marry Princess Flavia, so she didn't want people being killed, and also she was a kind woman who didn't like evil.
She didn't accept Black Michael's actions already.
At all.
She was very ready to do anything لأنه she knew that Black Michael was an evil character.
Just to stop him from doing evil things.
She was ready to stop him in addition to طبعا the reasons that we said. What do you think Antoinette would tell the Duke's men if they didn't find Rassendyll? طب يا ترى لو ما لقوش Rassendyll هتقول ايه هي ليهم؟ She would tell them that he didn't come to the house. لأن هم كانوا مستنيين, دي كانت trap, وكانوا مستنيين to catch Rudolph Rassendyll. فلو هم جم وما لقوش Rudolph Rassendyll يبقى he didn't come to the house.
Why do you think Antoinette couldn't complete telling Rassendyll about the king's place? ليه ما كملتش في اللتر بتاعها ان هي تقول لراسندل على المكان الحقيقي بتاع الكينج. So simply she was interrupted, أو مين قطعها؟ 3 foreigners of the 6 famous arrived and interrupted her. Now let's see some questions. Choose the correct answer and go through them.
What furniture was there in the summer house? A small iron table and 2 chairs, a new armchair, 2 cupboards or 3 sofas. طبعا احنا عارفين ان كان في small iron table and 2 chairs, بدليل انه لما خبط عليه داتشارد وندى عليه من بره وقال له رودولف راسندل, مسك الايرون small table اللي كانت صغيره and he pushed it in his face.
Why did Antoinette ask Rassendyll to leave the summer house as soon as he could? Because 3 of Michael's men would go there to kill him? Because 2 of Michael's men would go there to kill him? Because 4 of Michael's men would go there to kill him? هو هيتقتل. Because 1 of Michael's men would go there to kill him. طبعا احنا عرفنا ان هم كانوا 3 men, so the choice will be A, because 3 of Michael's men would go there to kill him.
What was Michael's evil plan to get rid of Rassendyll and the king? طبعا كان عنده بلان مهمة, خلينا نشوف لأن التشويسز هتبقى شوية السنتنسز كبيرة فنركز شوية في كل واحدة منهم. He would kill Rassendyll and take his body into the old town. The body would be found. Then he would arrest Sapt and Fritz for murdering him. شكلها logic جدا. A messenger would be sent to Zenda and the real king would be murdered too. Flavia would be queen, or A and B are correct. طبعا أنا سمعت على طول أول ما قلنا الإجابة الأولانية was correct, وكمان الجزء الثاني هيبقى correct لأنه هيقتل الكينج وبالطريقة دي he can get the throne.
What would be the result of killing Rassendyll? The Duke would be their king as a result. Flavia would be a queen. The Marshal would become the next king, or both and B are correct. طبعا the correct answer is Flavia would become a queen.
What pushed Antoinette to help Rassendyll? دي قلناها المرة اللي فاتت لما كنا بنتكلم على أنطوانيت دو موبان, وقلنا إنه she كانت بتستفاد جدا من الفكرة دي لأن هي كانت الوسيلة الوحيدة تبعدها عن بلاك مايكل. So هنشوف الانسرز because she didn't like to see people being killed، ودي كمان أضفناها المرة اللي فاتت وقلنا إن هي she didn't like to see people killed، وبالتالي this was one of the answers. بس كمان there would be another answer إن هي she didn't want Black Michael to marry Princess Flavia. Because she didn't like to see people being killed, or because she didn't like Michael, or because she loved Rasendel, or because she didn't like Flavia. لو اخترنا من الchoices اللي عندنا هنلاقي ان هي she didn't like to see people killed.
What game would Antoinette play with Michael's men? ايه الحركة اللي هتعملها؟ She would tell the Duke's man that Rasendel never came. She would kill Michael's man. طبعا دي بعيدة جدا. She would ask her man to arrest Michael's men, or she would deceive the princess. طبعا البرنسس ملهاش أي علاقة بالموضوع، يبقى she would tell the Duke's man that Rasendel never came.
My dear students, by these questions we've come to the end of our episode today. Hope that you have enjoyed the questions, the story. Please revise all the questions that we gave. Try to go through all the answers back again and wait for us next time to complete Prisoner of Zenda Part 5. Thank you very much.
Dear students, hope that you have enjoyed our episode today. Please read the text extremely well. Read it thoroughly because it's so important to read it. Answer as many questions as you can. Revise. Waiting for you next time. Thank you and goodbye.